is going everywhere. So in this quick video, we are going to be taking a look at the pretty common question. Is it better to pay off your debt entirely, or should you carry some level of the debt while investing? Into there, a better road to go. Should you push it for investing until you pay off your debt? That's the best road with this. So let's cover that in this video. Let's just jump right into the pretty quick, pretty much to the point. So let's get into this video. Alright, so let's start off with some of the pros of the paying off your debt. What are some of the benefits of the focusing on the debt first and getting right of it, and then moving on to investing or other types of the various assets allocations that you want to deal with in the future. So the reasons for the paying off debt first, there's the really big reasons for this, and that's the feelings of freedoms. Feelings of the liberations when you finally don't owe anybody anything at all. You're going to feel really good about yourself. I know the personally when you carry a lot of the debts, especially bad types of the debt. We've taken about a good debt versus bad debt in the previous videos, but when you're recording a lot of the different types of the bad debts, like the credit cards debt or maybe the car loans, it definitely hits the feelings of this sort of the drowning, in the sense of the suffocating when you have these monthly bills coming in months after months, and you're the only interest on that, and it's definitely not your good feelings. We can all agree that on that. So paying off your debts first, you're going to get to that $0 mark when you don't own anybody anything, and it's a really good feelings. Now there's another benefits depending on the far that first, and that the reason of that is because it's more predictable. So what I mean by this is, that maybe your interest rate is 6%. It's probably locked in the most loans are gonna be locked in a certain rate, and so 6% annually for the next 36 months. That if you pay the $2,000 a month for the next 36 months, where you're gonna be financially. Where if you are investing, you don't necessarily know where those investments are gonna be next year. They might be at a 40%, that might be down 30%, so you don't really know. And that is the benefits of the paying off the debts. There is the little bit more predictable than investing, and I would put that as the benefit to it. Now there are some downside through the focusing so much on the paying off your debts that you are not really thinking about investing. You're just paying off the mortgage and the student loans and the car loans and the credit card bills. And the downside of that is something you can get so wrapped up in that you blink and all of a sudden you are 45, you are 50 years old, and you haven't even started investing. You only have retirement account set up because you are just paying off your mortgage and your student loans and all kinds of the different debts. You are to build up the past 30 years of your life or whatever, and so that could be the serious issues, and so you would probably want to set up something there is a happy medium in between these two, and you want to do something like the personally I would take the advantage of my 401k plan if your employer offers some type of the retirement plan. Definitely take advantage of that, or some type of the stocks ownerships plan where they are matching your contributions of some sort of that. Something you probably want to consider even while carrying some levels of the debt. So I think setting up requirements consider almost regardless of how much debts you have is important, at least in the part of the important. You don't tons of the money into those retirement accounts if you are carrying large amounts of the debts, but I think it's important to just get the ball rolling with the investments. Now there's really some benefits to focusing a lot on investing over the paying of your debt. And one of the biggest benefits for doing that is that possibility of the essentially making more money with your investments than you are paying with your debts. So what I mean by this is that the goal here is almost people have is to say make 20% in a year on their investments and have the interest rate for the average interest rate for all their debts by 5%. So they are kind of the net possible positive there, and then basically taking the earnings from their investments and paying off their debt with the earnings from their investments. But you're going to be really careful with this, because you don't want to put yourself in positions where you are planning on the paying off your debt with your investments earnings, because the problems that can occur here is that sometimes there's going to be the external factors that affects your investments, and even the most known intelligent investors of all time, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Benham Grant, they have losing times 18 months when they lose money. They have years where they lose, and just about everybody in 2008 going to 2009, a lot of the people lost money. And so you could be an amazing investor, so you could be the genius, but there's still going to be the external factors that can affect you and your investments. And sometimes people don't always make the best decisions, and sometimes there are things that are out of your control that are they going to the negatively affect of your investment portfolio. And the problems can occur when your investment starts going down and investment account starts decreasing. Maybe it drops 10 or 20% in a matter of the couple of months. Maybe we hit the recessions or something else happens to the company. That was on 4 reasons. So your investments account goes down, and your debt is still peeling up, because even so focused on the paying into your investments account that you haven't focused on your debt, and all you have been paying say your minimum payments in the past 20 years. So you haven't really been worrying about them, and that's what you can sort of create this problem. And that's when the people start to make the rational decisions. Now, I don't have the statistics right here to show you this. You can look at this up on your own. I know that divorce is, for example, one of the largest reasons that has been cited for the divorces, this monetary issue. There is a lot of the problems in the life where money is one of the root causes of the issue. Maybe it's the personal problems, maybe it's the problem within the company, but there is a lot of different things that can be steamed back to the money, to trace back to the money. At least in a part, so you don't want to put yourself in the positions where suddenly you're personally are stressed out because you're losing money in your investments and your debts building up. So I think there's the happy medium here. I sort of summarize this video. I think there is the really happy medium here on to which type of the debt you can carry while also simultaneously investing. So kind of the rule of thumb that I like to go for is really, and the debt that is above 5 or 6 or 7%, you can kind of set your own number on this. But for myself it's usually about 5 or 6%, just because I really don't like carrying large amounts of the bad or unnecessary debt. So anything above the 5 or 6% I will generally pay off right away before investing so too much money. Now, if you carry some level of the debt where it's the 2.5% interest rate from the federal government for the student loans from 2011, so when the rates were really low, that probably doesn't matter too much, because it's 2.5% rate. That's almost the free money. You could probably carry the balances on that for a little bit while maybe you invest and you could probably pay that off pretty quickly that way. Now, if you are carrying the credit card debt, anything the double digits, you want to pay that off almost immediately. Get rid of that almost before you start investing. I would say, especially with credit card debt, you need to absolutely get rid of the credit cards debt before you are even considering investing, and that even goes for the retirement account. Before you even start your retirement accounts, just squash your credit card debt, anything in the double digits, and get rid of it. That's sort of the consensus on this. Obviously, you can tweak this to your own goals and needs, but I think it's kind of the good rules for the sums to go for, because generally speaking we see the market grow about 7 to 10% per year. So you could kind of decide it all as well. You could say if you have any interest rates that are upwards of the 7 or 8 or 9 or 10%, then you pay those off first, and then anything else than that you don't worry about as much. But personally, if you are like me, paid a lot safer at around 5% is kind of the cutoff where I decided I'm gonna focus on the paying off that debt right away, for or if it is the student loan, and the 3% that you don't have to worry about immediately, and you can pay that off over the time, but not have too much concern over. So that is the video. Hopefully the kind of the answered your questions, but if you have more, leave them down below. I'm always looking toward to talking to everybody on this channel. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next time.